Guys, all voices are being heard. You heard Steve Stern. Please, show your love, their loudest applause. Make them hear you in the building. Right now, go ahead, show them your gratitude. Now, just so you have a perspective, this is one of the first time that I have been able to even take it on more of even a local level. Unfortunately, Rick Schaefer couldn't make it this morning. He reached out to me at 3 a.m. He wasn't feeling well. But what he helped to do is get the Association of Supervisors to support us too. And this is important. This pushes local support, and then it pushes it to the state support, what you just heard. We are getting the support we need. We cannot stop at this point, though. For me, one of the sad things being involved over 35 years is the fact that we saw the horrors of Willowbrook, and we saw the progress of so many creative people and creative programs. I watched parents tirelessly try to get self-direction off the ground, and now it's one of the most flourishing independent programs we have in the community. We've watched agencies for the past 40 years fight. In the beginning, they were fighting their communities to build the group homes, and they were given a hard time. Now we have come this far. To me, it's such a shame that today we have to sit here each year saying we deserve more, and that's just wrong. One of the slogans I want you all to help me with right now, I want the people in the state building to hear this, and that is invest in me. Let's get it go. Invest in me. Invest in me. Invest in me. I can't hear you. Invest in me. 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 Fantastic. Fantastic.
Hey! Invest in me.
So, something that we all must realize, and I appreciate everybody that is here today, and this is something that I had to come to terms with myself, and that is we cannot stop advocating. And going along with advocating is reminding people the history. It's getting lost, because for 2 years it was generous that they gave us some money, but you keep on hearing that word, this might be enough. It's not enough. It's not enough.
Not enough.
We need people to see that we had a hold up with not getting the support that we needed for over 15 years. We can't afford to just have partial cost of livings. And because DSPs have not gotten the support, and this is a horrible statistic, 20 years ago, DSPs were making double minimum wage. That is having complete devastation. So we need that wage enhancement. That is so critical this year. But it needs education. You know, when we were all in school, we always covered history. But you know what? You're going to have to be the voices of history. You have to be the ones out there that educate the legislators coming in. There's enough of me with gray hair around that has seen a lot of people retire, both within the state level and even the legislators. When we spent the time here to help educating our true supporters behind me right now, that makes a huge difference, because they're able to go back to Albany and they know what we're asking for now, as Steve said and as Jodi said and Doug said. We do. We need to educate everybody. We need the support. What do we need? Invest in me. 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 Invest in me.
Invest in me. Invest in me.
Fantastic, fantastic. I'm going to pass it on. Listen, Jodi being on the Committee of Disabilities in New York State, it's very important. She's taken the role of being a voice for us. And I can't tell you how important that becomes, because it's right here in our backyard, having somebody that understands, puts it as a priority, and becomes one of our major voices. She is a great friend, and we should show our appreciation. So again, a round of applause for Jodi Giglio. Okay.
So I want to introduce Sean Himes. He's on the Office for People with Developmental Disabilities Advisory Board for New York State. He was appointed, one of few, and he just wants to say a few words. So Sean?
How's everyone doing? Good. I know it's a little chilly today, but the sun's finally out this week, so that's great. And it's great to see everyone here. Why don't we give everyone here a round of applause for showing up and sharing your voice. We need to be fair to direct care, and we need to invest in me. Yeah. So I think it's been well said by many other speakers. I should mention I have the honor of working for Assemblywoman Doug Smith in the State Assembly. And as a self-advocate, it is painful. Every budget season we have, there's always cuts to the most needy. Meanwhile, we have $800 million for the Buffalo Bills to build a new stadium. We have all this money. We have a $233 billion proposed budget, and you're telling me we don't have the resources to take care of our most vulnerable? We have one of the most highest turnover rates with direct support professionals. People can't afford to live here. People can't afford to take care of our most vulnerable. And it sickens me that we have to go through this year after year after year. So I am really, I'm glad to see so many people here. And I'm sure there's probably plenty more that couldn't make it here. But thank you all for being here. And we need to be fair to direct care, and we need to invest in me. Thank you.
Okay, and Senator Anthony Palumbo could not be here today, but he does have a representative here, and he stands alongside us to invest in me and more pay for DSPs. So now, Walter Stockton, would you like to come up and say a few words? Walter Stockton from
Thank you, Jodi, and thank you, everybody. So I think we need to remember one thing, that we have some very good friends in Albany. And we have Jodi, Steve, and Doug. Remember when you go to the voting booth, when you see their name, that we need to keep them there, because everybody there doesn't support us, but these three certainly do. So we need to thank them. I've got some statistics I'd like to share about the very special direct support professionals that we work with. Half of the DSPs in New York experience of food insecurity. 44% of DSPs have a college degree and make less than $20 an hour. Low pay, understaffing, long hours, and needing to have multiple jobs causes widespread burnout. And I'm willing to say that there are DSPs here today that may work two 40-hour jobs in two different organizations just to make a living. And it happens every day. The turnover rate in New York State is 31%. The vacancy rate is 17%. There are over 100,000 DSPs in New York State. 85% of them work for private nonprofit organizations. 15% work for the state and state-operated programs. Now let me tell you a little bit about New York's dirty little secret. Long Island average DSP's salaries start at $17 an hour. What do you think the starting salary for the DSPs in state-operated programs is?
27.
It's going to be $27 an hour. For the same work, $10 an hour more. So provider agencies asked for a 3.2% COLA. The governor in her budget gave us a 1.5% COLA. That's disgraceful. We asked for a $4,000 wage enhancement. Not a chance. She didn't put it in. The state DSP increases through union contracts include 3% across the board increases for 24, 25, 26, plus a $3,000 bonus in 24. How is that anywhere reasonable in all the stuff that we have to do? In addition to that, $2.4 billion are proposed to support central office, operations office, and 5 regional offices for the state of New York. We need to move our system to an integrated care model run by providers so that all that money can be repurposed to go back into services for people with developmental disabilities. What do we need? What do we need? I can't hear it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, so Bob Budd, where's Bob? Hey Bob, good to see you.
Good to see you. Are we not so fortunate to have such wonderful elected officials partnering with us and championing this important cause? That gives great, great hope to all of us, right? So Walter just shared some very, very upsetting statistics. It was not always this way. When we were formed as a field, we actually were the champions of acknowledging that every life has value and that we are all different, and that when we celebrate those differences, we are all stronger. That's what we're about today. 18% of the national workforce is worked for not-for-profit organizations. We are no longer a charity. We are a community solution. We are leaders in our communities, and we need to make sure our voices are heard so that people know that when they partner with us and then when they support our professionals, people, direct support professionals, professional wages do not compete with minimum wages. Professional wages are at least double minimum wage. So continue to chant, continue to spread the word. People need to understand who we are and why we are the wisest investment they can make. Today, our world needs what we do naturally. We lead with love, and we look for solutions that benefit all people. Invest in
Okay, Todd Decker.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak this morning. You've heard a lot of statistics, but I'm not going to talk about stats. I'm going to talk about something they don't know a lot about in government called common sense. Now, there's a lot of people in the crowd today that are scared to death because they have no idea what I'm going to say, but don't worry, no paperwork will be involved. And by the way, great job on that sign. I wonder where you got it from. No one could be here today without the support of DSPs. No one could get out of bed without the support of DSPs. But you see, if DSPs can't afford to put gas in their tank, they can't come to work. That's right. Then we'd all be stuck in bed or in the house, or we couldn't go to day program, or we couldn't go to work. That's right. Now everybody knows the bottom line is the bottom line of government, and there's not enough money for everybody. But come on, use common sense. When you work with this population, you need to put more money to hire staff that needs to be hired, so there is no burnout, so people don't leave that shouldn't leave, and the DSPs need more money because they work long hours. And especially in a house like mine, it's a lot of work for an 8-hour shift. So what I advise to the people in that building that don't think DSPs are important, come work a shift at any group home that's represented here today, and then tell me whether DSPs deserve a raise or not. And if there are any people in that building that don't think DSPs don't work, I'll be happy to give them my number and you come see me, and maybe you'll change your mind when you leave. What I encourage everybody to do is call your local representative, tell them how important DSPs are, because the only way this is going to get changed is if enough of us speak up and say we've had enough and DSPs need more money, because without DSPs we can't live as productive lives as possible.
Yes, that's right.
And it's all about inclusion. Well, we can't be included in society without the help of DSPs. And with that, I'll hand it back over to... There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Todd. Victoria Wright. Where's Victoria? Hello, everybody! Invest in me! Invest in me! Invest in me! Thank you. I want to start off to our officials in that building over there. I want to share a story with you. One of my individuals in my class cried one day, and she said to me, Victoria, why does anybody that I love stay around and take care of me? Do you know how heartbreaking it is to look the people that you love and care for every day in the face and tell them, yes, there's another turnover. There's another person coming in that you don't know. There's another person that you love that's now gone because they cannot afford to take care of the simple things that they want. We're not looking for trips on the Riviera. We're looking to put food on our table. We're looking to put gas in our cars. We're looking to pay our rent without thinking, oh my goodness, the month is coming to an end. I have to do 40 hours of overtime just to make it meet. To look at our children and say, no, I cannot go to your school program because I have to work, because I don't make enough money to support you. It is disappointing, and you guys don't want to live that life, so don't hand it to us. Give us what it is that we deserve. We pour our heart and soul into our individuals. We love them with everything that we are, and they love us too. They look forward to seeing us. They look forward to knowing that they will be cared for, that hug that's coming. Let's face it, some of the DSPs and the direct support is the only family that they have. We are the only family that they have, and they look for us for everything. So give us something so we could be there every day. Invest in me! Invest in me! Very good. Boy, we are getting excited, and we are sending the message today. I think they hear us. Now I'd like to invite up Robert Dumas from East End Disability. Robert, where are you?
I have to follow up behind that, which is going to be kind of rough. I had some things written out. I wish I would have met you guys first and seen all your beautiful things that you guys wrote. You know, the crowd over here on this side over here, they had it turned up over here, you know. But on behalf of, you know, I want to say hello to everyone. I've been coming to these rallies for a couple of years now, and I'm glad to see, you know, some of the new faces that are here. But it's kind of sad that I don't see some of the old faces that are here because of the revolving door, because of the wages. We need to stop the revolving door. That is the problem. You know, our dedication needs to be recognized. We are the frontline heroes. When I realized we were heroes, is when the bad weather came and when the COVID came and we were given letters to still drive on the streets. When I realized I was the only car on the road going to work, I realized that I must be a hero. You know? So we deserve more. And all I say is that increase the pay and we will stay. Invest in us. Invest in me, invest in us, and invest in our guys. Thank you.
Next up, can we come over here? Come over here, come over here. This is Caitlin and Susie.
My name is Caitlin.
Hi, Susan.
We live in the group home with Eastern Disabilities Associates. Within the past year, we've had a lot of great staff that left because they were not making enough money.
It takes us a long time to build new staff.
It feels like we're always starting over. It makes me very upset when I become comfortable with staff and they leave because they need to make more money to pay their bills and take care of their families. We're asking for a 3-point COLA and a $4,000 DSP wage enhancement. We deserve quality support from people we can trust. Please invest in me.
Invest in me.
I want to read what one of the kids that I've known since she was little, and she's now in her 20s. She said, some people may invest in real estate, some people may invest in stock, but what if, as a community, we took the time to invest in the future of disabled individuals? Just because an individual with disability grows up doesn't mean they cease to exist, and unfortunately society doesn't see that. These budget cuts that our legislation is done are harmful because it is perpetuating the notion that people with disabilities are a burden, and as a whole the community costs too much to society. For me, so many others like me, we have goals that we hope to accomplish, and we need society to come together and include us instead of discriminating against us. Further inadequate funding will allow us to do and have that for the future. We deserve this because we are human, and our disabilities deserve to be seen. That's from Kim. We don't have
Invest in me.
Invest in me.
Invest in me. Invest in me. Invest in me. Invest in me. Invest in me. So before I was bringing up about history, what I want you guys to do when you go home is not only continuing to advocate, because this weekend is really critical. Jodi mentioned this. The One House budgets will be set up, and we want to be able to show them that our advocacy is continuing. Because it basically comes down to the three that put this together. They need to continue. We cannot stop the advocating. Something else, I mentioned about Willowbrook. We were talking about this for those that attended the legislative breakfast. There is a great video on YouTube, and it's Remembering Willowbrook. When you realize one of the first things discussed there, it was bad enough of a concept and idea, but what the feeling was that made it even worse was the underfunding and understaffing created, which made that situation even worse. We basically went from there to now, from institutionalization and isolation to integrating individuals into the community. So we find ourselves in a situation without support, and what is very difficult and hasn't been discussed is how bad it really is. And we have to respect and get that message across. I mentioned before that what was given in the budget was not enough. It was not enough. We have a hole. We have programs being closed and being threatened. We have programs, the only reason they're staying alive is because the director level people are working to make them survive.
That's right.
If they didn't do that, there's no one else in that house or that program, or programs that still can't open because of staff not being there. So that message has to come across. You know, it's difficult for an agency to step forward and saying it's that bad, but in reality, we have to talk about it. How sad is it to hear some of both the staff and the individuals that spoke before that say how sad it is that people are leaving that they cared for. Like that is a shame. And before I mentioned how it used to be 50% higher than minimum wage. We have a deep hole. So for someone to say giving us 1.5 is enough as far as a COLA only means that you want to dig the hole deeper. We cannot afford that. After 15 years, we cannot afford that anymore. You need to help spread this history and word to everybody. So this weekend, tell everybody you know to continue their advocacy. It is essential that we let them know how bad it is. And listen, it's a horrible thing to have to say. And again, no agency wants to raise their hand and say this, but it is that bad. We cannot wait any longer.
No.
That wage enhancement is so important. It was as if even after our advocacy last year, it was totally ignored. So we need the voice to continue to advocate and remind people of the history. Our history is so important, like everything else, and every grammar school through high school to college. We teach history because of bad things that happen that we don't want to happen again. As advocates, it was advocates that helped to progress things from Willowbrook forward. We're in a little hole right now, a big hole. We need to be the advocates that help get us out of this hole and help educate all our legislators so next year when the budget comes, that we're not out here graveling to just survive. So please, so once again, invest in me, 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 invest in me. Love it. Make them hear it. Make them hear it. Invest in me. Invest in me. Louder. Invest in me. Invest in me. Invest in me. Invest in me. Thank you very much. Jodi.
So, we have a lot of work to do. With a 20% shortage throughout the state of DSPs and a 30% turnover where we're bringing new people into our homes every day is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. We love our families, right? We love our DSPs. We do. And, you know, the not-for-profits are the ones that are doing most of the work for the state, taking care of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. 75% of the people that need to be with a DSP are being served by the not-for-profits, while we have group homes that are closing throughout the state, that are state-run group homes. Those people are getting shifted to the not-for-profits, but the money is not coming your way. What do we need? Invest in me. 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 We need 3.2% increase in the COLA, and we need the $4,000 wage enhancement for our DSPs. Thank you to all of our DSPs for being here today, and thank you for all of you, our unique population that have so much to offer this world. We thank you. We thank your parents, and we thank your families, and we thank you for being here today. Thank you.